Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bits and Pieces podcast. I am your host, Nick, joined with
Isaac
and Miguel.
And today, Gus is going to be a little late, so hopefully he can make it to the show. Anyway, so I have written down opening fun.
Like
Two things. Miggy's back. Miggy's back from Greece. So how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired.
Jet lagged.
He's like still jet lagged.
Nah. Vape nation.
Vape nation.
Get rid of jet lag. Just vape.
And so yeah, Miggy's back, so that's pretty cool. We're glad to have him back. Safe flight, safe trip, and everything. So
Yeah.
You have fun?
Yeah.
That's
Airplanes are cool, man.
Airplanes are pretty sick.
Yeah, there's magic. They don't actually fly.
Yeah, we don't know how planes work. It's just magic.
Turbines.
Yeah. So second thing, I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley, and by a lot of Stardew Valley, I mean like I have like 20 to 30 hours in it, and I just got it.
That was just his spring break.
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
That was your spring break?
Pretty much. I just played Stardew Valley. It was pretty insane, dude. That game is so fun. So I have a review going up soon. So
Okay.
I've been working on that, but it's really fun. It's like a Minecraft, Animal Crossing / Harvest Moon game, and it's really fun. It's 2D on the PC, unfortunately only. But it's super fun, and it will suck your time up like really fast because it only saves at the end of the day rather than like you can auto save or whatever. It auto saves at the end of your day, so you have to play through the whole day. So even if you're like, oh well, I want to see what crops grow on the next day, but I gotta go. You load your day, check out your crops, and you're like, oh, but this is gonna be worth a lot. So I kind of just want to like, I'm just gonna play until it saves, and then you just get stuck in that cycle. It's pretty funny.
Wow. That the
Yeah. So it's pretty intense. Yeah. It's funny.
It really doesn't come with a manual save feature?
No. I mean, I think you can mod it in, but yeah. But yeah, so it's pretty funny. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move into our WTF headlines. So
Okay.
join us for that.
What? Huh? Are you reading this right now? Did I read that correctly? What the f? You know what? Whatever. We're running with the story anyway. WTF Headlines by the Bits and Pieces Podcast.
WTF headlines
WTF.
by the Bits and Pieces Podcast.
Okay, so first and foremost, I
dude.
think we're talking about those papers, aren't we?
Well, those aren't WTF headlines. That's the main topic.
Ah.
But our WTF headlines this week. And Gus is here now. So
Gus,
during the break, Gus showed up. Those
Through the magic of editing.
that 15-second break, Gus came. Okay, so our first WTF headline is it's one that I hope everybody saw. A dog led police on a high-speed chase over the San Francisco Bay Bridge. Dog was captured and given a warning. Yeah, a dog, a Chihuahua.
Wow. Okay, was this dog driving?
No, this dog was running. He ran
okay.
across the bridge and they closed traffic. It was pretty funny. I don't know how it happened, but the point is like, I guess the police said in the interview that they asked the dog to please stop, and they were going to detain him, and his answer was woof woof, and he started running. So they had to chase after him naturally, and it was a very high speed chase. So police resources at their best.
Wait, what were they chasing the dog on? Like a patrol car? Or
Yeah, like motorcycles and running after him, dude. No joke.
What? Like a Chihuahua?
Yeah,
I would think you would need at least like a Segway, maybe.
I don't even know, dude. Like, to be honest.
And-
Regardless, though,
And the Chihuahua got away with a warning.
the Chihuahua got away with a warning. Don't you believe it?
Wow.
All right. Our second WTF headline. This one was actually pretty sad. So, responsible driver parks to use a cell phone. Oh, by the way, I'm like paraphrasing these titles to make them funnier. But responsible driver parks to use cell phone. Gets rear-ended anyway by a plane.
Jesus.
What?
So, a driver on the 15 freeway. Hold on. A driver on the 15 freeway stopped to use his phone, right? So he pulled over into the shoulder, which is
Okay.
like dangerous, but you know, it's like whatever. I mean, he was being safer by pulling over and using the
Yeah.
phone, right? So he pulls over. at the same time, now don't even like try to deny that this isn't some Final Destination right here. A plane, like a Cessna style, goes to land, emergency landing on the freeway, hits the car, and the passenger in the back dies.
Wait, the guy had a passenger in the back?
The guy in the car had a
Was it
passenger in the
Uber?
back, and he got rear-ended by the plane, and the passenger died.
Wait, is the guy okay?
I think so. I think he went to the hospital and stuff, but the passenger definitely died. That's insane, though. It's like, what the
Jesus.
fuck? Yeah, that embodies the WTF headlines for the Bits and Pieces podcast. This is crazy, right?
What
Like,
was the reasoning behind the emergency landing?
I don't know. I didn't read that far, but I mean, I'll post it in linked up. But it was like, whoa, what? What do you mean? So at first, I was just like, oh man, this would be really funny. And then I read a little further and found out the passenger died. It was like, I don't know how funny this is anymore.
Was the pilot of the aircraft Harrison Ford?
No, the pilot of the aircraft was not Harrison Ford.
He wouldn't need to land like that.
He did the other time.
He just like jump out of the plane.
You know
He
what
was
though?
the only,
He landed in a empty field. That's all I'm saying. He landed in an empty field
In a golf course.
in a golf course.
But
and
golf
he
cart-
also landed in the Himalayas on top of an inflatable raft.
Why?
And that was like his third accident.
Well,
In
no,
an aircraft.
that was
Yeah, that's
actually
true.
his movie stunt, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I mean like that when he crashed into the golf course, that was his third time he crashed an aircraft.
That's true. Very true.
But he's always survived.
He has always survived. He's a
Because
good pilot.
Harrison Ford.
He's Harrison Ford, man. He's a pilot who piloted the
Millennium
Falcon through the was it the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Oh gosh.
Those memes though.
And he's afraid of snakes.
Yeah. Don't say that.
Snakes on a plane.
They should have casted him in Snakes on a Plane. I'm just saying, dude. That would have been such a good.
He would have jumped out of the plane.
He probably would have, to be honest. But you know what? He would have landed safely. He would have just landed the plane on a fucking freeway.
While he was getting bitten by a snake.
While not rear-ending a guy and killing the passenger in the back. We brought this full circle.
What if that's actually the situation? That was the emergency landing. There were just snakes on the plane.
There were snakes on the plane. That could be. I mean, I'm not discounting anything. All right.
Would that
There-
even pose a threat to the pilots?
Yeah, there's snakes on a plane, dude.
Yeah, but they're in a sealed chamber.
No.
No.
Have you seen snakes on a plane?
No.
Alrighty then.
Exactly.
Go watch it, Isaac.
All right.
Okay. This is the last one, and my favorite because it contains multiple levels of WTF.
And snakes.
It's pretty long. 17-year-old Pakistani bride killed by her cousin for not being a virgin. Her cousin was her groom.
Oh.
Her cousin/groom remains at large still. They think he fled the country.
So
Let
she
this
was
sink
marrying
in.
her
Let this sink
cousin?
in. 17-year-old Pakistani bride was marrying her cousin. Her cousin/husband killed her for not being a virgin. An honor killing. But they're actually trying to charge him with murder.
That's unreal.
That's the definition of what WTF.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was just like, wait, excuse me?
One can figure like maybe some rednecks had like their cousin getting married like to another cousin or something. But that takes it a step further and includes honor killing. And then you're getting
You don't have to be white to be a redneck. That's all I'm saying.
But what about like the shooting gators and stuff like that? That's
Yeehaw.
exclusively
There's
redneck, right?
multiple levels of redneck. Currently, this Pakistani family hit the incest level of redneck. Okay?
It's one of the worst levels.
Wait,
Like
was
shooting
it
at
the
the
first
moon is
cousin or
one
the
thing.
second cousin?
It just said cousin.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think it matters. I don't think that makes a difference.
I mean, like
Not
You're
to
not
me, it doesn't.
You're not supposed to do it to the. You're not supposed to.
you're not supposed to do it to any
Anybody.
cousin, Gus.
But
Yeah,
to be
Gus
legal
redneck
in
confirmed.
in redneck terms, you're not supposed to do it to your first cousin.
Gus
but you're-
redneck confirmed.
Y'all
Yeah.
need to chill.
Yeah, cousins are off limits. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, any family's off limits.
Donald
So,
Trump.
You know
Donald
what?
Trump.
We should, like, this should not be a headline.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's fine. It's fine that it's a headline. The part that I have a problem with is the cousin part of the headline.
That's a headline for.
Well,
some
I mean,
countries.
for me, it's a surprise because normally they wouldn't even like bother arresting the guy.
That's the other part. Like, what the hell? What happened here? Why do they want to arrest him?
Are they suddenly following like United Nations? Like,
I think so. I guess. Like, to be honest too, I don't know what country it was in. You know, because they're I forgot if it's like Egypt or something, because they're Pakistani, but they could be in a different country.
oh, okay. I was about to say if it's
like
Pakistan.
that is actually, this is the article I did read all the way. That's leaving my mind right now. I can't think of it. But I mean, depending on the country.
Yeah, because I mean, Saudi Arabia or like Yemen.
You know, take it off the butt, you die.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
about the side note? In Greece, how my friend, the little Pakistani boy, came out of the room and was like, "Hi, I'm from Pakistan," and then my friend was like, "Yeah, well, I'm from D's nuts," and then slammed the door.
Yeah, American kids.
Yeah.
So if you recall, we were supposed to talk about like what kind of
Being
kids make you,
respectful.
yeah, being respectful and stuff. After that, after I heard this, I was just like, we're dropping that topic. You just need to tell people what happened that one time, and then that'll literally let people know how American kids were in that on that trip.
yeah.
That was the literal like definition of
Who'd
it.
you go with?
Mr. Hackmacky.
Hackmacky?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Sanchez.
JMS.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Mr. Hackmacky and Sanchez from Miraloma.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that was, oh man. Yeah, when I heard that, I was just like, no way. And he's like, yeah, that happened. I was like, man, that is so bad.
They also
It
threw
was
they threw a bag full of water out the window.
That would have not flown with Miss Moore at all.
she probably would have laughed. Not the bag out of the window, but the rest of us.
yeah,
would have
the
laughed.
kid.
yeah. Bag out of the window though. Like you can't.
We threw batteries at cars in China.
Oh gosh.
I'm
What
just
if-
saying,
what
dude,
if
when you're
those
13,
people-
things are like funny.
What are those people that you threw the batteries
Hey,
at
maybe
their...
they need batteries.
They're jumping off balconies would
Stupid.
also seem like a pretty good idea for a 13-year-old, but
Not a 17-year-old or
Yeah.
an 18-year-old. Yeah, no kidding.
exactly.
Some Oregon kid tried to jump our balcony. I was gonna throw him off.
Working kid.
Yeah. We
An
got
Oregon
paired up.
kid. Oregon, not
Oh,
Oregon.
I thought it said working. I'm like, what?
No,
No,
child labor laws still exist in Greece.
In Greece?
Yeah, he tried to jump our balcony, so I was gonna throw him over. I was like, I swear to God, if you do
Unless
that
he was
again.
one of those sweatshop children. Just happened
Isaac,
to
we
be in
don't
Greece.
tell people about that.
Wait, what?
Makes the Nike shoes.
Makes our freedom cologne?
And you wonder why people don't like America, but they still
Hey,
move
hey,
here
hey.
anyway.
This is all I have to say about that. Am I a criminal for having purchased clothing that is made in a sweatshop, or is the sweatshop owner the criminal? Think about that.
The sweatshop
Well, you
owner.
didn't know any better.
Well, no, he knew better.
I knew
Oh.
better. I'm just pointing out that I'm not wrong in this situation
I mean,
because that person is more wrong.
yeah.
Exactly. On that note, we'll be taking another short break and moving on into our main topic for the podcast. This is kind of a big one.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll be there. Join us or be square. Hi, I'm Nick Esparza from the Bits and Pieces podcast. This year, I decided to join Extra Life. Extra Life is a Children's Miracle Network Hospital's fundraising program that empowers the gaming community to make a difference in the lives of local sick and injured kids. Participants fundraise year-round and during a 24-hour gaming marathon each fall. Video games, board games, even card games. This year, that stream happens to fall on November 5th, 2016, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Children's Miracle Network Hospitals is a group of 170 hospitals that rely on your donations to provide the best care for kids. Since 2008, Extra Life has raised over $14 million for this cause and has gone towards things such as critical treatments, research, and equipment, as well as helping the families who cannot afford this care. There are a few ways I would ask you to help. Donate to anybody on the Bits and Pieces team roster. We could all use your help reaching our donation goal. Spread the word to your friends and family, gamers and non-gamers alike. That always helps. Watch the stream on November 5th via twitch.tv. The stream may not be suitable for all audiences, however. For my personal friends and family, I have a special challenge for you. I would like you to donate and come and help us on the stream. Come play some video games with us, feed us, take naps with us, whatever we happen to be doing at the time. It'll be really fun, awesome. I encourage that. I encourage you guys to get involved with me. But please note, as I said before, the stream may not be suitable for all audiences. Stick around for links on more information on Extra Life and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Thanks. To learn more about Extra Life, visit extra-life.org. To donate to a team member, visit bit.ly/BNP team, then click on a team member to see which hospital they are supporting. And to watch the stream, visit twitch.tv/BNP podcast. We'll see you there. So, welcome back from that break, and we are going to cover the Panama Papers. As a quick primer, the Panama Papers is a giant. What do you think they did? Do you think they compressed it? Do you think it was a zip? I think it was a zip. Nah. Uncompressed.
Uncompressed data.
So it was a giant. Let's just
Title.
argument's sake. It was a giant folder of 2.6 terabytes of just data. It was PDFs, pictures, text files, Excel files, just every type of data under the sun. I'm pretty sure there were probably some uncompressed FLAC.
Bits and pieces?
Yeah, there was probably some bits and pieces files in there because, worldwide. Anyway, all jokes aside, 2.6 terabytes is a ton of data.
Yeah.
And all that data relates to a Panamanian bank company. I forget, it's a M and F or something, but there's that's a word. Anyway, the bank company handles finances for people all over the world, and they help people put their money into offshore accounts, which is it can be used for legitimate purposes. The article I read gave some legitimate purposes as to why that would be done. But primarily it's to launder money and hide money away, tax evasion, that sort of thing. So this find is pretty huge. There are names from literally all over the world. Putin and Lionel Messi and some people from FIFA are the ones that stood out to me.
But the big contributors there, I think, are the most notable group are the British, actually.
The British, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, this has been done for years. I mean, it's a common thing, Swiss accounts, Cayman Islands, British Isles, right?
Canary.
Canary Isles. There you go. So I mean, it's something that's done. And like I said, there's legitimate reasons. For example, one the article I read gave was if you want to buy property, but it's not that country you want to buy property and restricts it to corporations and citizens only, as an American, what you would do is you would set up a corporation, a shell corporation, that company, invest money in it, and then have that company buy the property and then transfer it to you.
Right.
Which is legal. But it would be illegal for you as an American citizen to buy property in said country because that country doesn't allow it. That sort of
Mexico.
thing. Yeah, so that's kind of the a legitimate reason. Another reason would be to invest money in a foreign company, or if your company, if the legal system in the country that you're operating a company in is really really shady and corrupt, and you don't want to deal with the corruption, what you could do is establish a headquarters for your company in a different country that has more lenient or more fair would be the better term, laws for whatever corporation you're running, and then transfer your headquarters to that country, quote unquote, and then keep your actual operating headquarters in the same country it was in. So for example, if you open a company in China, China's legal system is not the greatest, but you open up a version of that we open up the Bits and Pieces Corporation in China, but China's assholes. So we open up a wing of the Bits and Pieces podcast in Switzerland, and then we make their headquarters in Switzerland and keep our actual building in China. So there's no building that exists in Switzerland, but the company is headquartered there. So we would have to obey Swiss laws rather than Chinese laws. That's another legitimate reason.
Correct.
But those legitimate reasons can also be used for illegitimate purposes on the same time. Anyway, Gus has a quote, though, from Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. So, from what Vladimir Putin says, the leak was an American plot. That's all he says.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say this
is American propaganda.
And it's funny because I'm getting this off of New York Times.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Liam Stack wrote it. And it kind of explains that the people that show up on here are, the world's powerful and celebrities and so on.
It's funny because the countries involved, citizens from those countries, there's 27 of them, including the United States. So you would think if it had been a plot by the United States, they would have at least
removed some of them.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing though, so like we said, we're gonna cover this, but we're gonna probably come back to it once more data's out, because I'm not about to download that data and read through it. I'll leave that to the other people.
take forever.
But what we have to say is not everybody's name on that list is a criminal. I just outlined a couple legitimate reasons for it, But more than likely, if you're funneling money into an offshore account, it's for a bad purpose. It's for an illegal purpose at the very least. You know what I mean? But regardless of that, there were some things brought up that like only a few names were from America, right? Well, the thing, like, few in terms of the vastness of this data. I don't mean like there were two. I mean like in terms, say there was 1 million names on there, like 2,000 of them are American. That sort of, thing. What was interesting is the journalist, I forget, there's like a foundation of journalists like that came together and sifted through this data and started releasing it. It was first released through American news outlets, which was an interesting move because American news outlets might actually censor certain names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, they're owned by lots of like corporate interests. So.
So they would censor certain people's names. So it was just interesting that they would choose that rather than choosing like WikiLeaks or something or Edward Snowden.
From what I understand, they had been distributing them to like certain news sources, but only under the like guise of like gauging people's interest in it.
Yeah.
And like trying to like verify that the documents were like
legit.
Legitimate documents.
But there's already been some fallout. There was there's a prime minister that got asked to step down, and he had his deputy take over. There's
it was Iceland.
It's
there you go.
Prime Minister of Iceland, and he's stepped aside.
He's just like, I've abdicated the throne.
Yeah, I'm moving to the right.
Man, why can't you guys just like buy something that doesn't lose its value? Like, just
like what?
I don't know, like
gold. No,
3DSs.
Soul Republic headsets.
And some people got raided too.
Yeah.
Or
Like-
3DSs.
Nintendo 3DS is the Zelda edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Union of European Football Association got raided after this.
Yeah, well, Jesus, thank God. Finally, hopefully they'll raid FIFA again.
Can that be like a mini game in the new FIFA game?
Escape the raid?
Yeah.
Or is it what's that football manager game?
Oh, Football
Oh,
Manager.
God.
No, it'll just
Soccer.
the raid will play out like the in Max Payne when you're through the stadium.
Oh,
Yeah, that level sucks.
I hated that.
I hate that level. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's super interesting this release of data. So we'll be watching it. We'll talk about it again. But it's super. I was just like, whoa, dude, because 2.6 terabytes. Say that was all just text data. That's like
A lot.
I can't
not
even fathom
like
that.
reading.
Yeah, and even if there were PDFs and stuff, like somebody broke it down. It was another article that broke down. It had a little pie chart like of possible combinations, and it was just like no matter how you slice it, that's a ton of data.
I mean, even if it was video,
Even video is quite a bit. That's
like
at least a couple days.
If that's 2.6 terabytes, that's enough to download. I think like Call of Duty, like maybe. I want to say
Which
like a
Call
good
of Duty?
120 times over.
Let's use a different benchmark because Call of Duty is not the greatest.
Well,
Let's
I mean,
use
but it's like a 50 gig install.
Yeah, so that's pretty insane. It's also you know what though, 2.6 terabytes is not enough data to successfully patch any Bethesda game.
Wow.
Jokes.
Oh gosh.
All them bugs though. We love you, Bethesda, though. Please send us free stuff.
They won't.
Boys.
What if like next week we show up, there's a bunch of Pip Boys just at my door? I'm just gonna be like, dang. And then they'll be like, contained inside these Pip Boys is the patches necessary for Fallout 4.
Oh my god.
And
They're
Nintendo
definitely not sending.
3DSs.
Yeah, they're definitely not sending us free stuff anymore.
Nope.
We got rid of that sponsorship.
I would like to note that we're not sponsored by anybody. We're fully independent. You know, this is the Bits and Pieces podcast is the Bits and Pieces podcast is 100% independent podcast. Although we do like certain brands other than others.
Silver Republic.
Yeah, we definitely use Silver Republic stuff, but we're 100% independent. I mean, I would like a sponsorship. That'd be cool. Then we wouldn't have to keep buying stuff.
Silver Republic, slide into them DMs.
Yeah, slide into them DMs, Silver Republic, please. We're ready for you.
Saying our name like 100 times over and over again for narration is a tongue twister.
Why did you have to do that?
It was just, I was repeating it for the whole.
Did you put a counter in the video?
No.
You should have. I wanted to, and then I was just like, I don't want to image mask this 400 times.
Yeah.
Anyway. Any last thoughts, guys, on the Panama Papers?
Panama sucks.
Panama.
Savage.
The Van Halen song. I should just insert the Van Halen song. Panama. Do 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 do. All right. We're gonna take another break, and then we'll come back. So, Bits and Pieces Podcast.
Do you want a shout out given? Would you like us to plug your YouTube channel or your own podcast, even your Instagram? Send us an email at thebitsnpiecespodcast@gmail.com. That's thebitsnpiecespodcast@gmail.com. Also, hit us up on Instagram or our Facebook page.
Okay, and welcome back from that short break. So we're gonna continue on, and our last main topic for the podcast is actually it follows up with some of the stuff we were talking about a couple weeks ago about VR. So the VR headsets were officially released. Well, Oculus came out, and so did the HTC Vive.
Google Cardboard.
Came out today, didn't it?
The Vive? Yeah, I think so. And then the Oculus came out like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Anyway, there were some interesting things found in the Oculus terms and conditions, and I wouldn't doubt that the HTC has similar ones. But the interesting things that people were noting is like the data tracking. So normally it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, Apple tracks your location data on your phone, things like that, and like a lot of people complain, but the fact of the matter is that even though it's not user friendly to read through it, you are signing it. However, so the Oculus has an interesting caveat that it says by purchasing this product, you are agreeing to the terms and conditions. You can't read the terms and conditions without having the product in the first place because they're not available online. You have to read them through this software. That's interesting, point one, because, for example, when you purchase an iPhone, if you do it online, I have never purchased an iPhone in the store, but when you do it online, it gives you terms and conditions before you press the order button.
Right.
Interesting thing too, the types of data that the Oculus is taking are common for electronic products. Location, IP address, hours it's powered on, things like that. It's like common, but some of the other stuff is interesting where it's for advertising because they have their own storefront. But the types of data it's taking are very interesting. It's taking your height, presumed weight, gender, age, how much motion you use in your movements for the Oculus, the types of games and media you're using for the Oculus, and also it's taking the names of the external media you're opening, meaning that when you open that not so subtle VR porn, Oculus is actually getting the name of what you opened with the Oculus.
Oh gosh.
Any web browsing you do while the Oculus is powered on, through the software, that sort of thing. Now, the other interesting part is it's being shared with like Facebook affiliates because Oculus is owned by Facebook. So that's like the more pressing matter because that'll start invading your Facebook feed, right? Which is really like you buy two separate products, you think everything is kept separately, but that's not the case with this. So that's kind of troubling as well. But things like the movement and stuff and like your height and all that, I feel that that's going to be something that we're going to be seeing more often with VR, because actually that's information that would be useful for a developer, you know, because if like okay, so these first games are actually like very much just tech demos for the stuff.
Right.
Which is, you know, I expected that, but like, okay, say so a developer's making a game, right? And their thing is like they want to be you in a cockpit, right? In a like a spaceship, like they did
like
with Eve and Star, whatever, yeah, right. So you're doing that, but they want to make a game where you're actually gonna have to lean over to push buttons, like things aren't right near you.
Right.
So they're developing this game, but they realize one of their competitors that is also developing a game like that did that, but nobody liked to lean over. People were just like kind of reaching with their hands. They weren't getting more into it, right? So then he'd be like, oh, why are we going to do that? Maybe we should just make it more of a seated, like still thing, you know?
Yeah.
Or, oh, people don't turn their head all the way around to look. So let's adjust our field of view so you don't have to turn your head all the way around to see behind you. You can just kind of turn
or
to
like the sensitivity or whatever.
Yeah, the sensitivity. So they adjust it. So that's useful information. But other stuff like what external media you're opening, things like that with your Oculus, that's a little weird. You know, it's a little intrusive. Like I said, we haven't seen the Vive stuff, but I mean, I would probably assume there's a lot of stuff like that, especially because it's Valve backed.
Yeah. What bugs me what you were talking about was the fact that you can't look at the terms and conditions before you buy it.
Yeah, and there's no current way to opt out of the data tracking. You have to
Right.
do it through Windows, and that only controls like your browse history and stuff like that would go to the Oculus, but it doesn't control the other stuff. You can't opt out.
So
Now there might have been an update in the story. I'll give that because I did read the story a week ago, but I mean at that moment of reading, there was no way to opt out of it. That's
How-
the problem.
how soon do you think people are gonna like jailbreak or root the Oculus?
Oh, I'm sure it already happened. It happened with the beta stuff pretty quickly. So I mean, like realistically, that hardware is probably going to be unlocked soon. And you think what they'll stop it from tracking it or see where the information's going?
Well, maybe both, but preferably, I mean, like you could just like cut the data that's being sent.
That's true. Very true. However, I think that like that would probably lock out the store, you know? And like the easiest way to get Oculus games is through the store because like for example, if you go through Steam right now, there are very few games that support Oculus versus Vive and very few games that even support both. There's more games that support the Vive on the Steam store. Because Oculus for whatever reason didn't really go with the full Steam integration. That might have been why Valve started developing the Vive with HTC's help because
Right.
they wanted their own. But like this is the thing. So this is just a peripheral, right?
Right.
So you would think about it like this. Traditional console wars, quote unquote, are done with, versus Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony now. There used to be a lot more.
Right.
But what if this happened? So I buy my PlayStation, right? Got my PS4 all hooked up and playing it. But then one game comes along and says, hey, you can use the DualShock 3 with this game. Or DualShock 4. Awesome, cool. I have a DualShock 4. It came with my console. Then another game comes along, Street Fighter 5. You can only use the tournament level fight stick with Street Fighter 5. Okay. Whatever. I buy a fight stick. Oh, Mortal Kombat. The new Mortal Kombat comes out for PS4. Awesome. You can only use the Mad Catz Mortal Kombat tournament stick with this game. Why? A tournament stick is a tournament stick.
Right.
Oh, Guitar Hero. I'm going to buy Guitar Hero. Well, actually, that's true. You can only use the Guitar Hero guitar with Guitar Hero. Okay, let's back up. Let's do, Grand Theft Auto. You can only use Rockstar's official Grand Theft Auto DualShock 4 controller with this game. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
I buy a PC game that's VR ready, but I have to have the VR headset for that game. Now, this is where I think proponents might counter me, is that, well, this game was designed with movement space. The Oculus can't do that. The HTC Vive can have you do you're right? Okay, but there's another game that I saw that was Vive exclusive, but the movement space said seated. Because on Steam, you can see where it says, like, movement required, and it's, like, seated.
Also be, because I know for a fact that the Oculus and the Vive have different resolutions for the screens on the inside. So it might have to do with that, like, maybe the game outputs at a certain resolution or something.
Yeah, it might be that. But, I mean, you would, like, it's, to me, okay, so the PC is a platform, but then you're making sub-platforms. Because then the other thing is some games that are on Oculus Store are also available on Steam, but the Steam version is not VR compatible with the Oculus, but the Oculus one is. Doesn't make any sense. So that means I have to buy the game twice? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of like you're separating one platform into two.
A bunch of them.
Yeah, and that doesn't make any sense because it's like, so now I have a PC and I want to play this game, but I need to buy a completely different headset for it.
Right.
What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not saying like that. It's actually, it's a weird thing because it's a peripheral. It's not like this Oculus is self-contained. The games play on the Oculus like it's a console. It's a peripheral. It's an add-on. It's not your own system.
Right.
It's not like you have a PC and then to play Sony games you need to buy the PlayStation Drive. No, it's literally I have my console and I need to buy a completely different controller to play this game, even though I should be able to play with the other controller. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. But I mean that's kind of an offhand thing.
Quick question then. Do you are you as like against the VR thing, as far as like separating like the market and stuff? Just as much with like PlayStation VR?
Well, PlayStation VR is a peripheral for the Sony console. So I would say it's a little different because it's not like Microsoft. It's not like you're making a game and then there's two VR headsets for the same console. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like that. And Now, if this happened, if say, say if Activision made their own VR headset for the Sony console, and then for Call of Duty you have to use the Activision one, that would be bullshit.
Right.
But PlayStation VR is just the one thing. Now, if you were to say, what about the PS4K, the proposed upgrade?
4.5.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't heard a lot about it, but that is weird. That to me strikes.
Unconfirmed.
It's unconfirmed, but if it is something, it strikes me as the new 3DS versus the regular 3DS.
Or the 2DS.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, you know what I mean? Because now you're adding features. Because, for example, in the new 3DS, there's like 3 games that actually require that console. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think, or Xenoblade Chronicles or something for the 3DS. One of the Monster Hunter games and something else actually require the extra horsepower. No other games do. So what are they doing? Like that PS 4.5, if it's confirmed, what are they actually doing? Is it just so it can output in 4K, or is it an upgrade to the console? You know, that you can perform at any point.
We were talking about this the other day, like about being able to upgrade your consoles.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
like Gus was saying with the open source.
As far as I know, like Microsoft has said that it has no plans of any kind to upgrade the Xbox One at all. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Like, if Sony really decides to go down that route, like, it might start.
It'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of it is when people found those patents, I think it was maybe just to sell the extra horsepower processor from the PSVR separately. Now, that's what I think it could be, is that it was just a SKU number so you could buy it separately. Not for intent of buying the VR headset and the processor separately, but for the intent of maybe making the console be able to play 4K Blu-rays, you know, and output certain games in 4K.
Or maybe also, like, to give the option of, like, let's say you have the
or 2 different textures
Vive,
or something. Yeah.
And you don't want to buy the PSVR. You could just buy the little processor.
The processor, exactly. That could be it, too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so that PSVR has to be able to, what is it? They're 1080p screens, right?
No, they're actually, like, some weird resolution. Like, slightly lower than that.
So, weird resolution. It's got 2 screens, and they both have to output at 90 frames, right?
And they have, like, this lens in front of it to make it bigger.
Yeah, so you have this weird thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has an extra processor. So, that processor... I think all that processor is doing, the game's processing from the console, but the processor itself is like handling the up-resing and stuff like that.
Right.
But say if both of them were put together, yeah, couldn't they power another headset at that same level? You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about it. So what if that was what it was for? You know what I mean? VR? For using another VR headset, a non-OEM headset, you know, a non-PlayStation headset, or for, you know, putting certain games that are 4K enabled, playing them in your TV in 4K, you know? Just upscaling. All it's doing is upscaling, because now like Sony's releasing 4K TVs, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but your games aren't going to output at 4K, they're only 1080p.
Yeah, they don't
take up with that extra processor, what if it just upscales it? You know, because maybe the console can't handle upscaling to 4K right now, and maybe with that processor it can, so that just improves compatibility with their own stuff. That was another thing. I don't think they're actually going to fracture the player base by doing stuff like that. I think what it's just going to be is, it's just for upscaling. That's it. It's just worrisome because they haven't said anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't have to. It's not like we're entitled to that information, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, back to our terms and conditions. I think Oculus needs to be able to have you opt out of certain things.
Yeah, because that's a really shady business practice.
Like I said, even Microsoft with Windows 10 lets you opt out of certain things. Yeah. You know? Like it's weird to not have the option. It's fine if they're enabled default. I don't think that's fine. But I mean, it's like whatever.
Businesses should remember that it's always best to give customers the option to do anything.
Mm-hmm. And I get making it opt out instead of opt in, because then you're going to have the majority of people just leaving it on, you know? Right. And you can agree or disagree on that, but at the same time, like, just give the option to opt out or turn it on, whatever you need. Just the option is all we're asking for.
Or at least just wait till it's jailbroken.
Yeah, because to be completely honest, if I was buying a headset and I saw that, I would have been like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it, because it's just weird. It's too much. I think for me, You know, like I don't mind the iPhone tracking my location because I know what that's for. I know that's exactly for me to be able to find it if I lose it. I know that's why my Mac does it. You know, I know my Mac tracks crashes and stuff. Obviously, that's the obvious part. I know my Mac actually tracks how I use it, and that's because it has to. When you first buy a Mac, it doesn't really know how you're going to use it, so it doesn't switch your graphics and processor speeds good. It doesn't do it well. As you use the computer more, it learns how you're using it, so then it starts to do things more dynamically, more fluid. You know, as soon as I open Audacity, the processor speeds up, you know, to account for that. And now that we've been doing more video editing, as soon as I open Final Cut or any sort of video processing program, the screen flickers and it turns on the other graphics card, and the processor speeds up. When I was first starting to do that, it would be so slow for like at least 10 minutes into my video editing. Now it just does it instantaneously, so I get the full speed at once. And as soon as I close the program, it speeds down again, you know?
Right.
It learns. So I understand why it does that. But this Oculus just for advertising? You know, and then some of the weird stuff, it's just like, why? Why do you need that? Stuff. Yeah, the weird Facebook stuff. It's like, why do you need that? Like, if there was a logical reason, I think it wouldn't have been as much news, you know? But all you can pinpoint is advertising, and you're owned by Facebook. That's really not cool. You know?
Mark Zuckerberg.
It's kind of funny because on the way home from school and everything, my dad was talking about how Facebook actually wants to acquire showing football games, you know, American football games.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy, but they're just going to be making money off of the advertisements.
Yeah.
They're going to show that. And I guess they're fighting with only like 3 channels to do it right now.
That'll be interesting. That'd be really... Well, I wonder if that
Facebook
would be
enhanced football.
I wonder if that would be an offshoot of the live feature now.
Oculus Rift version.
Because the live video the streaming feature of Facebook. That'd be really interesting. I've actually been looking into that. I kind of want to...
They have to improve their player.
I hear they updated it yesterday. The live video player.
Oh.
That's why Mark Zuckerberg did a stream yesterday.
Has it been improved to Snoopavision?
I don't know.
That was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome.
No.
It was awesome.
It was kind of awesome, though.
But,
Dude, that was so cool.
For Extra Life, I was actually thinking of we should live stream like certain part. Like, okay, we're live streaming it. But I mean, like Facebook, like use Facebook, the Facebook Live player. Like, okay, for like a couple minutes that I'm not gonna be hosting. Right. You know, I'm taking a break. Like, I want to do it and just like show some on Facebook real quick for people who aren't watching it, and just be like, go to Twitch. Bits and pieces or whatever. And then so that way they can watch it too, like another form of advertising our stream. That would be pretty cool. That's what I'll probably use it for. But like, obviously our live stream platform is Twitch. But the Facebook thing I think is kind of neat because it's kind of the Periscope style thing, but just you can do it like at a whim. You don't have to have a complete second application for it. But I've never done it, so I don't know what it looks like or the quality of the stream or anything like that. So I mean, I'm sure Periscope is probably better, but the reason I would use the Facebook one is it's integrated. You know, it's not go to this other page. It's just people are going to be on Facebook. You're probably going to have an option to be able to shoot it to Instagram. You know, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have they acquired Snapchat yet?
I don't think so.
They should, and then we can send it to Snapchat too. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm telling you, dude.
No, I think they tried, but Snapchat wouldn't.
Snapchat was like, we don't want to release the nudes to Facebook. No nudes, please.
Because then they'd base their advertising on it.
Yeah, because then all the nudes you watch on Snapchat would just be like, that's what you get on Facebook now.
Wow.
They get a whole bunch of job opportunities in the San Fernando
Nick
Valley.
watched nudes. Update from Snapchat. Nick watched nudes. That'd be funny. Anyway, all right. That is actually, unfortunately, going to be it for this week's Bits and Pieces podcast. But
such a somber note to end on. You make it sound like we're losing a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, we are. The podcast is my friend.
Oh, God.
This is the end.
It's the final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
Copyright strike.
I like how Nick is so committed to it now.
It's the final countdown. All right.
GG.
Yeah, copyright strike. Shit. Anyway, that has been it for this week's Bits and Pieces podcast. Please visit us at shoutengine.com/BNP podcast and at our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/the Bits and Pieces podcast. That's N, the Bits in Pieces Podcast. Instagram at instagram.com/thebitsnpiecespodcast and facebook.com/thebitsnpiecespodcast.
See.
Oh
It's
dear
hard to
God.
say.
Yeah, it is. And then make sure you visit our Extra Life page at bit.ly/BNP team. That'll show you my picture and Gus's picture, and you can donate to either of our goals, which go towards our total team goal of $1,000. You can read more about Extra Life at www.extra-life.org. What else?
You
I
went
think
like
that's it,
that for a second, and I was like, "Is he gonna give me a shout out?"
Hold on. I'm trying to think of the rest of the stuff that we have to shout out. I think that's it. I just started working on a new Extra Life promo, so we'll definitely be working on that. So if you want to be in it, all I need for our fans is to submit a short video, a couple clips, a couple takes, whatever you want to do, either with your cell phone, a video camera, whatever you have. Selfie camera works too, the front-facing camera.
No selfie sticks.
You can use a selfie stick, I don't care. All you need to do is say, I support Extra Life, with some sort of energy. So like, I support Extra Life. And then just email that to us at thebitsnpiecespodcast@gmail.com. Or you can DM it to us, slide into them DMs. Or you can just send it to us somehow. Send it to one of us on one of our text messages or Gmail, whatever you want to do, just send it to us. And I'll make sure it gets in the video for sure.
I thought friends don't let friends use selfie sticks.
I mean, me
Is that a
uses a
thing?
selfie stick, so I mean, whatever.
I have a ghetto selfie stick that I broke to put on a tripod. So
Yeah, it happens. Anyway, and Miguel, check out his Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ArcticFox100.
Vape Nation.
We also have a Twitch channel, but it's inactive, so I'm not gonna plug it yet. You can find out more about that on.
I mean, you can just watch mine all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening, and the Pins and Pins podcast provided to you by Nick.
Isaac.
Oh, I thought we were going to him.
Go!
Miguel.
And Gus.
And all right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.